Hey, 1 2 1 2. Welcome everybody. I'm here with my good buddy Adam. We're here to talk about our biggest challenges and how we solve them with regenerative ag concepts, some permaculture ideas. What do you say, Adam? How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Welcome to the cast today. We're going to be reacting to some videos, sharing our thoughts on how it applies to permaculture and regenerative agriculture.
All right. Well, yeah. So I know we got a couple videos queued up. Did you have? Let's see here. I wanted to show this. Having a hard time showing this little video up here. But like, it says it's already showing. Maybe we get. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Look at that.
So what kind of video are we watching here? We don't really know. We haven't planned this out. We're just checking things out, having a good time.
Oh, bro. Listen, you guys want B-roll? You got B-roll.
Here's my client's land damaged by wildfire and a high-level overview of a permaculture landscape design.
Going for these AI videos. Look at that. That's
in this educational video.
Dude, we got a goat pasture going on there.
Here's my client's land damaged by wildfire and a high-level overview of a permaculture landscape design.
I love Chinese AI. Got a fire break.
That's for Chinese.
Stay tuned for more. Here's my client's land damaged by wildfire.
In this educational video.
How do we get out of permaculture AI?
All right. We're back.
Permaculture,
Here,
permanent agriculture, is the conscious design and maintenance of agriculturally productive ecosystems which have the diversity, stability, and resilience of natural ecosystems. It's the harmonious integration of landscape and people providing food, energy.
That you're talking about.
That's what I've been trying to say this whole time.
Listen, guys, so we're going to start offering a course. We're going to have AI rewrite this book, and then you guys can, somebody else's book, but you guys can pay us to watch the AI rewritten version.
All right, we're going to do...
But,
yeah, so check this out. This is a book. There's a bunch of chapters in the book. And today we're going to go to just a random page. We're going to find what we can apply to our... Oh, look, there's pictures.
Oh, we found pictures. Nice.
So this is a cool book. So what's important to people? We gotta go to some viewer questions here. So earlier today, I had someone asking me. They were like, man, how do I test the soil, my soil here? And we're in the wet tropics, and we get a ton of rain, which is really cool. It's great for growing things, but the soil, because of all the rain.
We have no soil. He's got volcanic rock and clay. What soil do you speak of?
So because of all the rain, all the nutrients just kind of get washed away. So that we got a lake that's full of nutrients. The soil is actually not bad here because we do have really volcanic high mineral soil.
I'm shocked how good everything grows here. Like you can see in the background here, it's a little lush and green.
Back in the mirror. In the black mirror. So let's fly up. We're gonna reference this book. This is a book. Oh man, this is the district. I can't scroll fast enough. How do we? Primary nutrients.
Oh, I like this little jar here. This jar picture.
Oh, that's a picture.
So yeah, that's the low-tech way I know of. You take a little dirt and you take some water and you shake it up in a jar and you get the layers of sediment that will lay down in there, right? And what are the three layers that you'll see? You'll see
clay, sand, and the other one.
And silt.
Silt.
And what is silt? Silt's
it's somewhere between clay and soil.
Because it's not organic matter, guys. That's my point. I don't think, right? Silt is actually something else.
It's minerals. There's smaller structures than sand, but larger structures than clay.
And this is like where does this fit in the loaminess? I know because there's a loam.
Oh, I guess there's loam, which is another.
Gotta watch out for that loam.
Look, we got difficult soils, right? These are difficult. Man, I'm trying to find. We're wasting all this time, man.
You got the Control F function?
Oh no, this is a PDF.
I love it.
soil rehabilitation. But yeah, man. So what we got? We're going to the viewer questions. Let's go back to
Here,
the
hold
viewer
on, hold
questions.
on. We're
here.
gonna find our place here.
Are we recording?
We're recording resume.
And this is working. This mic. Yeah. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right. Okay. So I'm here to explain to everyone why permaculture is important, what is permaculture, and how it affects us as human beings. So what's really cool, and I just explained this whole thing, but my homeboy was not following the ABR policy of always be recording, so we lost it. It's lost to the sands of time. God bless. So we as humans, okay, all right. So check this out. Check this out. You see all these plants behind us? This is such a cool opportunity that we have. So where we live is in this plane of existence. That's this intersection point of all of the elements that allow for a garden to exist. The sun comes down from above, the rain comes down from above. There's also water under the earth that comes up, and we sit on this layer of rock that is the intersection point where biology happens. And we as human beings, we are the spirit infused element that gets to design and imagine and create what it is we want to play here in this realm. And it's so fucking cool. It's such a blessing to have this opportunity. And I think conceiving of life and existence in this way empowers the human being to feel like a gardener. And to be a gardener is just to infuse your spirit into reality. And you can garden anything. You can garden other people, the way you communicate with them, and the way you weed certain topics out of a conversation, and the way you can plant seeds of conversation into a topic. And this earth is like that. Everything out here, the natural spirit that's already been seeded here is already going to grow in a certain way, and the garden is going to grow in a certain way. But we as humans have this opportunity to look in the trees for seeds, look in the ground for different roots and things that we can plant, break up and replant. And we have the opportunity to say, oh, you know what? I really like this fruit. I really don't like this fruit. And we can take our machete or our hand or our boot and we can stomp out what we don't like, and we can grow and infuse what we do like, and we can give it the better opportunity. We can give it compost. We can give it it's a wonderful opportunity. Johnny, I want to invite you into the topic here. What do you think about all of these thoughts that we have?
You know, I like you were talking about the word gardener, and I think that it kind of comes from that idea that we're here to guard what works, right? And with permaculture is this idea of observing what's happening, and what works in nature, and where are the challenges, where are the bottlenecks, how can we get in there and improve things, where's life struggling. So sometimes we'll see maybe these tomato bushes are doing great, but then these are ones over here on the side, they're not doing so great. What's the difference? Is it they're not getting enough sun? Is it the soil? Is maybe these ones are doing better because they're next to the onion, so maybe they're getting a little benefit that way. So yeah, I love this idea. I like you talking about, like, we're balancing the elements, and we're that spirit infused entity to come and bring order this way. And it is just like this perfect puzzle that we're just clever enough to be able to figure out and make better. And yeah, where else would you rather be? You talk about the beauty, you talk about the great food we can create, you talk about the abundance, whether it's medicine and fuel and building materials even. So yeah, we can just create everything and have this independence, this sovereignty, sovereignty. Is that how you like to say it? But yeah, it's worth. I think it's something that we should all be leaning into, whether just as a hobby or a lot more. You know, it's in our blood. It's who we are. It's what we've always done, and it's something important that we got to get back to. So,
Amen, brother. That is absolutely on point. Thank you for that share. Thank you for that. Yeah. So so permaculture. So what is permaculture? Permaculture is a design system and a framework of mentality for arriving at this problem. The problem being like a mathematical problem of how are we going to interface with nature? What are we going to do to have the food that we need? Because at the end of the day, we are biological creatures, machines, depending on how you want to look at it, and we need caloric input to have energy to live our lives. So in order to do that, like John was saying, we need fuel for our other machines. So let's say it's cold in the winter, we need firewood to stay warm, for example. We need building materials because sometimes these elements that come here, snow, rain, sun, these things can be very harsh and hard, and it's hard for us to withstand that. So we like to build these wonderful structures that we like to live inside of. And then, of course, we need food, and food is a beautiful thing. It can be purely a sustainative source. Like, let's say you just eat rice and beans for the rest of your life, or it can be something more beautiful as an artwork, and you can create these wonderful, wonderful works of art that is food, that is a sensual experience in your tongue, and sharing this time with your family, sharing conversations around the dinner table, around these foods that we get to share. And that's what culture really is, right? It's these sources of food. It's these biological things that we consume. And you know, you go to Korea or whatever, and you're eating your kimchi pancake, and then you go to Germany and you're eating your bratwurst or things like that. You know, there's so many different places and different foods that we can eat based on what elements we have available to us at this local place. So that's what permaculture really is how are we going to design this garden that we all get to share? And it's really wonderful. And we live in a system of more or less private property throughout the world. So each person can have their own little garden that they get to manage. And of course, then there's shared gardens as well that are managed by governments and corporations. And getting gardeners, people with permaculture mindsets, into positions of power and positions of management is really a beautiful blessing for the whole world, because at the end of the day, we all share and we all receive the effects of this crossing of elements. For example, when the air is polluted, we all have to breathe that, depending on where you are. But if we pollute it enough, everyone's going to breathe it. And when the water is polluted, we all have to drink it because we all need to drink water. So working together to develop these gardens and considering the holistic framework, and that's what permaculture really is. So
I love that you're talking about water there. And yeah, I wanted to play this little video about how water is so important. It's kind of the foundation of what we're talking about. You know, it comes down in the rain, and then so many times we just let it run off. We lose it. We don't manage it. We don't harvest it. We don't put it to good use. And yeah, so that's the idea. Is you know, how do we optimize these gifts that we have, these resources? How do we get the most out of everything? And you know, I love this idea that, you know, making we can create legacies of abundance this way when we're managing these food forests and getting them to work well. So I'm gonna play this little clip here by great guy Andrew Millison. Recommend checking him out.
All around this world. So this right here is exactly why we say that water is the foundation of permaculture design. Permaculture help lead the way, yes, a new revolution. This means that for any permaculture design project, first you start with the design for the water flow on the site, and then all the other layers, access and pathways, vegetation, buildings, gardens, animals, energy systems, all follow after that. So it goes like this. Every site has a water flow pattern, even sites that appear to be flat. For this site, the water flow pattern is obvious. There's a valley running down the middle. So water just runs through this site right now, and there's nothing slowing it down for it to be used in some beneficial way to grow plants, water animals, and provide a supply for people to live. You can see that right here, the slope breaks from steeper to more gentle. And this is usually a good place in the landscape to begin to intercept the water flow. So let's make a pond. Now on this site, we have a water supply that's located above all of this other land. And the dam wall that we built is a great place to get across this valley with a road or a pathway. Now, this roadway is also a structure that intercepts the flow of water down this hill. The water hits the road, and its drainage ditch directs the water into the pond. So now, all of this land above the level of this pond is uphill from the water source, so it cannot be watered without using energy to pump it up from this pond. But everything below the pond can be watered by the force of gravity. So because we chose this point to store water where the slope breaks, then this level right here became a dividing line between a wetter and a drier zone. I'll plant some tree species in the drier uplands that won't need regular watering. So remember, the roadway is a place where water concentrates because it's catching water as it flows down slope, and also catches the water off of the road surface itself. So the area along the roadway will be wetter. When we travel around this roadway to get around our farm, that area will naturally get more attention. So it's a good place to plant higher value trees that will benefit from more human management, like fruits, nuts, or timber. So this tree-lined road is now a great place from which to access this whole area below. Because this area is below the pond, it'll be easy to water by gravity, and we can plant things that require irrigation, like annual crops, pasture, berries, and perennial crops of all sorts. So the drainage of this valley is still going to be the wettest area because it's the low spot. So keeping that in wet-tolerant trees is a good idea to soak up the water and provide all the benefits of mixing trees in with agricultural areas, like wind protection, habitat, mulch, and various yields that you get from trees. Now we need another access through this lower area of the farm, and we want to make that access function also as a benefit to the water cycle. So I'll put another road in here, and I'll stay right along the contour lines, so the road itself can serve as a water harvesting swale to collect excess runoff or excess irrigation water. Of course, this road again is a great place for high-value trees because of the concentration of water runoff, as well as the extra attention that any trees will get by being right along the roadway. Now, come to think of it, if we have enough rainfall and the runoff from this road surface right here is used as a water source, we may actually be able to supply another pond here in this valley. And then down below here and on out of our frame, we have our next block of crops, which now has all of this water catchment and structures that are slowing the flow up above it. So this low area will have a lot of water seeping down into it, which could lessen the amount of water that needs to be applied through irrigation. This could be an area where we plant really thirstier crops. So there's also this nutrient flow happening by having all this organic material from the trees, whose leaves and branches can be turned into compost and supply the organic matter to make healthy soils for the crops. And with all of these rows of trees and the access roads, we've created management units. So each of these areas can also have animals rotated through them, like chickens, cows, or sheep, and a crop and animal rotation can be developed. And what an awesome place for the farmer to live, right here along the road on the division between the forest and the cropland, overlooking the fields. So would you want to live here? Looks like a pretty nice place to me. And the whole design unfolded as a result of starting the design process by designing the water patterns. The water determines where major elements will be placed, like ponds, roads, tree belts, fields, animals, and housing. The water design creates the foundational structure on which the other pieces are placed. So this right here is exactly why we say that water is the foundation of permaculture design.
Yes, y'all. Man, he shows that road there. One thing I think about that road is I don't want too much traffic near my fruit trees. Where does that tire go? Why do we need new tires? It's those aren't good chemicals that can get into that soil. I was driving near where they grow strawberries recently, and there's like a lot of heavy traffic right off the road. I'm like, that's not where I want my strawberries from. So something to keep in mind.
I think that road is just meant to be a local farm road, just for moving his tractor around the farm. I don't think it's going to be like an interstate or even a local town road or anything. I think it's just a private road.
Yeah, I agree. Except he had like a big, massive, heavy-duty truck going. Look.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I think it's really, really cool the way that he broke everything down systematically, starting from the elements that are most important.
Right, and then and you talk about starting with earthworks, right? If you start planting your trees and figuring everything out, and then you're like, oh wait, you know what, we need to put a pond in, and then you want to start moving dirt around. Well, it's like, well, you already planted your trees, you already put infrastructure in, so it's like going to be gonna have to take some steps back this way. So that's why you want to think about these ideas first, and managing that water flow, and even just on a small scale for a garden, for a house where maybe there's not that much topography, where there's not that much of an incline, not that much of a slope. There still is some, and so it's a great thing to do, to go out there when you get a heavy rain and check it out. Be a kid again, get out there in the rain. Where's that rain going? What's happening? And sort it out, because when you get these massive rain events, it could be a liability. It could be a lot of runoff, or you might want to create like a pond, or capture that water flow, make a little berm, a little swale, and water some of your favorite trees this way. Create that fertility. Go out to the desert. Why is it the desert? Well, it's and there's no water there. There's no organic matter. And it's kind of like a chicken and the egg problem, right? Because once in a while the rains come, but there's no organic matter to really catch and to hold that water. So this is like we have these virtuous cycles where we're building up organic matter, and then more fertility gets held, and then more organic matter can get produced. And conversely, if it starts to go the other way, we can keep losing our topsoil. So a lot of concepts that we can like think about in our local gardens, local homesteads, no matter how small the land is that we're managing. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people can sometimes get turned off by permaculture, because a lot of the permaculture practitioners, especially the ideas that are most popular and get pushed around, are these like earthwork ideas, swales, ponds, everything like that. But permaculture is such a context dependent practice, and it really is a holistic framework. So don't get too caught up in these ideas of, oh, I gotta get these big machines and move a bunch of earth around. You can definitely, like, one of David Holmgren's permaculture principles is slow and steady solutions. So you can definitely just go little by little and do the things that need to be done. And you don't need to come in and make these huge grand changes. And also, it's going to be dependent on your soil type as well. If you don't have enough clay in your soil, it's not really going to make sense to build a swale or a pond or anything like that, because all that water is just going to infiltrate into the ground anyway. So sometimes it can be more beneficial and productive to focus on, like John is saying, building organic matter and getting roots in the ground and animals on the grass and things like that to increase organic matter in soils. So it's good to know more or less what kind of soil you're working with, what kind of climate you're working with, because also in a snowy area, for example, where you might have snow covering the ground for 8 months of the year, let's say, which obviously would be a very snowy area, you don't really have to, like, that ground is really going to maintain its moisture really well, compared to an area that's super sunny and barely ever gets rain.
Yeah, here.
God, every time I start dropping
Listen here,
like, yo,
my
I just don't want to be recording any fire.
Listen, I got something. My buddy, my buddy wants to say something here. Let me set it up for you. We're in this. They call it Gen Z. I hope they're not the last generation, but they're struggling, man. Why are they struggling?
Dude, well, all right. I gotta be able to look at myself while I'm talking, because there's nothing more beautiful than seeing your own reflection.
I think the mirror of paradise.
Man, so I think, like, who is this course for? I think a good person, So who is this course for? I think you'd be a good selection for this course if you're someone who's kind of considering like what is even the purpose of this whole society that we're a part of? Like, why are we doing this thing? Why should I go to work at an office to send emails off to God knows who, or to chop onions for Chipotle or whatever? It's like, how can I really contribute to this world that I really love and believe in, but I don't feel inspired by our society? Well, you can look at yourself as a gardener, and this course could be for you if you want to see yourself as a gardener and you want to slowly plant seeds into your life and plant inspiration and sow your spirit into your garden that is this space around you, this time around you, and you can really contribute and be a force of good for the nature that is this existence. And I think that's like a really, really divine, holy, sacred thing to put your energy and intention into. So if you are interested in this sort of topic, definitely come to our course.
Yeah, and if you don't even want to be a gardener and you just want to feed the chickens and water the bunnies, throw a lasso and ride some horses. It's the favorite plants and animals. I love the plants, but yeah, the animals even more so. And yeah, getting back to nature and what's natural. I think that it's people don't talk about it at all, but that's what we're designed for or adapted for. Be it the sunshine, the fresh air, the exercise. It's good for us, and it's what our bodies were meant for. So yeah, a lot of meaning there.
Johnny's trying to swing my game over here, but I'm gonna clarify, and this can be edited out, this part right here. But I'm gonna clarify. Okay, so when we speak of gardening, we're talking this whole course, this whole existence of permaculture. It is a metaphor. You don't have to actually ever touch a plant or an animal or anything. You can be a gardener and work at Chipotle. You can be a gardener and work in the office. That is some of the most important places to be a gardener and to follow the principles of permaculture, to have an overarching holistic framework that applies to every aspect of nature being the human beings around you. Every single mind is a garden that can have seeds planted into it. So as a permaculture practitioner, you never need to set foot on a farm. You never need to set foot in a garden, knowing that the human mind itself and society as a whole is a garden. And to be planting seeds into these gardens is the most important job of a spirit-infused individual. Spirit being your consciousness, your ability to manipulate and control and garden. The gardener is if you look at ancient spiritual texts and things like that, Jesus Christ was the gardener, right? So he, and despite him, they never talk about him being a farmer or pasturing animals. He is the shepherd. He is the farmer. And so that's who you have the opportunity to be. And if, let's say you're interested in biology as well, and you want to have animals, have plants, have things like that, it's really great to learn those technical aspects of permaculture. But the beauty of permaculture is that you never actually have to manipulate any of those things. You can be strictly a gardener of the mind. And the permaculture principles still apply to all of those practices of gardening the human mind.
Well, you reckon on that, people? Look at here. We got Jeff Lawton talking about permaculture. Set this up. This is one of the
wow factor in permaculture. This is the glue that puts it together, that sticks it together, that we all inherently understand. It comes from our ancestral knowledge of survival. We all have it. And we can all make links to it. This is a subject that is not taught in any other system. And this is a subject that would probably be excluded by most academics. Permaculture is about patterning of design. In patterning, we use multiple functions, multiple elements, and we emphasize their connections. So it's multi-dimensional. That's design. Above that, there's another level terrace dividing the water, and above that there's a circular footpath around a palm circle, like the banana circle, but a productive palm circle. We'll go up and have a look at that too. And that soaks into zone 3. This is a matter of just stacking natural functions through zones, making connections between elements that most people wouldn't see connections for. A road to a dam, to a productive, diverse forest, to a nutrient flow, to a small pasture. Simple connections make all the productivity easier. This is zone planning, this is design function. This makes life, productivity, healthy systems easier to achieve. Design planning. And community forestry can produce forests forever for the community. And there's no reason why we can't all have free materials to build our own houses forever. And this swell will fill and backflood to the dam. And the dam, when it's full, will then backflood up these two swells. This is the future of our supply lines. Permaculture, a system that respects life in all its forms, so that it makes the world a better place for all living things. Here is the form, here is the classroom, here is the teacher. This is the system that has survived for millennia and will continue to survive. This is the Diversity Nature's University.
Yes, yes, y'all. One of the greats there, Jeff Lawton, talking about it. It's
Okay, let's have a look at swales.
Look at that sneaky guy getting back in there. He likes to talk. Man, you studied with Jeff, is that right? You were in Australia with the man himself. What a legend. Dude, tell us about that a little bit.
Man, I think it's really cool to learn from people and to put value in other people. And there's a lot of big names and different things, but at the end of the day, I really try to not put too much faith into any one person. I don't think any other person should put too much faith into any other person. It's really cool to learn about permaculture and to learn these systems of design and methodologies of thinking. At the end of the day, how are we going to apply these things to our lives? And thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm going to be focusing today on getting some food for my cows, getting them some fresh grass, composting that grass into manure that can then be fertilizing the garden. Everything we can do these things day by day by day and plant paradise, like Johnny always says.
Yeah, I've got to ferment that grass. Them cows, they say holy cow for a good reason. Those animals are sacred. And yeah, sacred herd. I love that. Yeah, man, it's great to be a part of the life. When we plant a fruit tree or any tree, really, it's not just a tree. It's a whole ecology. The birds and bees come naturally. Chickens, eggs, and honey give us self-reliant sustainability, autonomy, independence, real freedom. So yeah, the more we can do that, the better off we'll all be. So all right. Our buddy here's got one more thing to add. Uno más. What else can we say? Save the seeds and share them. Feed the bunnies, water the flowers. Balance the elements. Forget just a wind bender. Be a life bender. How about that? What do you got here? Oh, yeah. Is that... This is great. Dude. That looked like Chabo was on there.
It's an island foodscape takeover. If anybody as we call it permaculture. Planting seeds, we secure our family's future.
That's epic, man. I love this. Who are these people? Tell us about these people.
Oh, this is Paul Isaac and the Seeds of Love.
The Living Roots Family Band. Feels like I'm at a real special gathering.
On the fly, we arose from the earth, baptized in the rain, found love in the fire, wind spoke our names, find hope in the heavens and all the wondering stars. Shouldn't look no further, you know who you are. Watch it grow, that's right, and let everyone know this is how we'll survive. In these times, oh, in these times, my friends, plant the seed, watch it grow, and let everyone know that this is how we'll survive in these times. Yeah, that's right. Plant the seed, watch it grow, and let everyone know this is how we'll survive in these times.
Ow! Yes, y'all. 1 2 1 2.